Good morning. Good morning. Hey guys, post in the comments if you can hear and see me. Normally Trevor logs in, so I want to make sure this is correct.
I got you.
Perfect. How are you?
Good. And you, sir?
Good, good.
Sell that boat yet?
No, I had somebody came by, made me an offer $500 less. I turned them down, but my son, it's a good little boat, and we found a bigger one, like everything else, and so we weren't planning on selling it until we found the other boat. So it was kind of a spur of a moment thing.
Looks like you just need to leave that for your son.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I'm okay if we keep it, honestly, because it's a good boat.
Good deal.
Cool. Let's, if you guys can hear me, post in the comments, please. Post in the comments if you can hear me, see me. Is everybody able to unmute themselves if they need or want to?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So, guys, I've gotten a lot of people, a few people have asked me, unsolicited here over the last week, looking for what's the best system. I got 3 today. What's the best system? Should I use Red X? Should I use Vulcan? All these dialer questions. And they're coming to me because I've done a lot of expired training with agents and ISAs, and people just reaching out to me. But really, what's a kind of weird in a way, and it's kind of a coincidental that we talked about this last week, is that I didn't get that last month. I didn't get the people reaching out to me. I'm looking on Facebook. I saw 3 posts today. What's best? Red X, Vulcan. And the reason I'm bringing this up is now people are thinking about the slowing down a little bit, and people must be thinking about their inventory, right? It can't be coincidental. So unless you guys have something else you want to chat on, I think it's maybe good just to kind of continue where we left off from last week. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask or go over now?
I'm good.
Cool. Who makes, put in the chat, guys, put in the chat now whether you do make phone calls now, expired phone calls, or you don't. I want to see where we're at with that.
I don't. I mail a letter to all of them.
Mail a letter, okay. Anybody here actually prospect expired at least 2 or 3 days a week? Alexander, nope. Cool. Marty, do you make any calls?
I don't. I really don't. I focus primarily on the everything we generate through Sync in Facebook.
Buyers. Okay, cool.
Correct. And to actually be perfectly honest with you, my 2019 business plan is based on generating leads. I think this is kind of that conversation we had kind of half-assed on Friday. For listings, want to really focus on trying to generate our listing inventory. It's low. We think we have about 5 right now, and it's real low.
Well, I found that listing. I always say listings have babies. And what I mean by that is I started off as a listing agent right from the beginning, and that's all I've done, right? And I didn't have a website to attract buyers until I think 2012, maybe 2010, whenever Sync came out, right after that. Right. And I don't know why I did it. I just did it, But prior to that, I just go out and get listings. So I wanted to do it. It's all I didn't even think about it. That's what I did, right? When I say listings have babies, is that the best way to get a buyer is to have a listing. There's right. No better. Today, there's not as many sign calls as there was probably 10, 15, 20 years ago. But we have digital sign calls, with Zillow, Realtor.com, and that kind of stuff. So it's still a sign call, if you will. And then when you get 1 listing, 2 listings, 3 listings, boy, it's a little easier. The next one comes a little easier. Not because you have the experience, but the other one is you have the exposure and the confidence, right?
Yes.
Yep. And history kind of, success leaves clues kind of a thing. You sell your home and your neighbor wants to sell one. They know what's going on, okay? And guys, honestly, the expires is the easiest way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it, right? So who else here? So mail letter to all expires. Who mails the letters?
I do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is there any? How's your ROI on that? I mean,
It runs pretty good. I get if I mail 100, I'll usually get 4 or 5 listing appointments out of it, and possibly 1 or 2 actual listings.
cool.
One thing, the reason why, and we've looked at this, we've seen people with Shoutbox that will leave out one part of the communication, either the voicemail or the email. A lot of people say, "Oh, I leave out the email because my CRM does it," right? And all of a sudden, we see the results or the response rate goes down, and an email doesn't kill it. But I think what it is the combination, right? So if you mailed out letters, right, and made phone calls, you're going to get more. The results would be more than if you did each one of them separately and added them. You know what I mean? Because it's that compound effect of doing that, right? So it's like doing radio. If you did radio works at a certain level, but if you do something else with radio, it blows both of the results up on both of them. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yep. Cool. So with making the phone calls, guys, the reason it works, let's go through a couple of reasons why I say it works, or why you think it works, guys, right? How many people are on this call right now? A dozen maybe? And nobody here makes the calls. That's number one. That's the number one reason. I want to do something. I want to zig when the other person's zagging, right? So if we're all going to mail letters, I don't want to mail letters, right? So right now, you see the opportunity. The people that on this call, not one person here makes phone calls, expired phone calls on a regular basis. So that's an opportunity, correct?
Yes. It's interesting. We're with Keller Williams over in Katy. I monitor the number of calls that the team makes there's probably about 4 or 5 that call every day on expires, and the number of listings they generate on the expires, it's so low. So I don't know if
What's low? All right, so give me some metrics. Who's making the calls?
So there's about 5 agents that do this daily. They meet 7:30 scripts, and then they start calling 8 to 11.
Okay.
They probably generate maybe 2 or 3 listing appointments a week out of I don't know, a couple hundred dials each person, I think.
Yeah,
when I look at it,
the dials, right? So how much time are they spending doing it?
about 4 hours a person a day. So yes,
5 people, so 20 man hours a day.
yes.
And 100 man hours a week. And out of that 100 man hours, how many listing appointments are you getting?
Maybe 5.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep. So basically, it's a listing appointment a week per caller.
That's that okay?
1 listing appointment per week per caller.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
How many expires per day or per week?
How many expires per day per week?
Or per week?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I don't know the total number. So yeah,
Bro, do you have any rough idea how many there are?
probably I'd say there's probably about 100 a week.
100 a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right then, you just tell me. I see there's room for. For them to get better at the scripts, right? So
Right.
there's a few things that consistency is going to win, right? But then if you're consistent and good, it's even better, right? So when I first started making expire calls, I don't know how many people. And here's the other thing, guys. A lot of people think there's a lot of people calling these expires. A lot of people think there's a lot of people calling these expires. right? Which is so far from the truth, right? Take major markets, major markets. Give me a market here, guys, and your population in your area. Somebody tell me the market they're in and what the population is.
Houston, 3.5 million.
Houston, 3.5 million. Holy smoke. So 3.5 million people. There's a lot of real estate agents in your market. Do you know how many agents are in your market, John?
30,000.
30,000 agents.
30 or 40,000 agents. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Now, with the 30,000 people, so get this around your head for a second here. What's the most important thing to making money if you're a real estate agent? If you could wave a wand and have a wish, what would it be? What would you want?
More prospects.
No, but more prospects to get what? The end
More
result.
appointments.
To me, it'd be more listings.
More listing.
Listings. Yeah. Prospects you want, but the least common denominator is the listings, right? Because here's the silly thing. If you had all the listings, you'd have all the sales. So the person with the most amount of listings is going to have the most amount of sales and make the most amount of money. And work the least. Right?
Right.
If I sell 50 homes, Marty, and you sell 50, and you do it with buyers, I do it with listings, the difference is I'm home for dinner and have my weekends, and you don't.
Right.
And my business is duplicatable, yours is not.
True.
I have employees or people working for me called real estate agents, and you don't. I have a business, you have a job. A cool job, don't get me wrong, and making a lot of money, but it is a cool job. It's not a business, is it? See?
Nope. And I've learned that from the last week we had this conversation, I think. So that's why we're focusing in this direction.
I'm telling you, so the hardest thing is building that inventory, right? Now, so going back to John, 30,000, 40,000 agents, right? You get an expires, it must be a lot, just 3.5 million people. Take a guess, guys. Anybody guess here? How many agents on a regular basis? I'm saying 3 out of the 5, not even 5 out of the 5. Because if you were working for somebody that only worked 3 out of the 5 days, you'd be fired. Or 4 out of the 5, you'd be fired. So let's be consistent. Say 4 out of the 5 days. How many agents out of those 30,000 you think are making expired phone calls?
I'm just throwing up a number, 500. Probably not even that high.
Who else?
Well, it's 5% out of the office. So I'd say 5% of the of the agents are probably making phone calls. Now, consistently, I would say it's not 5%. So
Consistency is going to win, right? If you do something half-assed, you're not going to do it.
So that'd be 5,000 people. So probably 2,500 people are making phone calls in theory out of Houston out of 30,000 agents.
Yeah. I've never called in Houston, but I've called in a lot of markets, a lot. Seattle, big ones, all over the place. And honestly, I don't think I've ever found a place where there's more than 10, 15 people calling in the market. In a market, consistently. Consistently is the key thing.
Okay. All right.
Consistency is the key thing. Because let me ask you something. All right? And you can please answer honestly. How many days, well, first of all right, so let's say you're going to prospect 2 hours a day, which I think is not enough, right? Because what else are you going to do? If listening's the most important thing, why are you only doing it 2 hours a day? But let's say you prospected 2-3 hours a day, right? Every day. How many, and you came up with a big goose egg and you had people pissed off and you were scared shitless, right? Which we're going to be scared making these calls. Not everybody there's a reason why the people on this call are not making calls, right? Number one is they don't have the skill set. And number two, they don't want to do it. They're scared. They're nervous. Because if you knew you could go out and get 2 listing appointments a week, Marty, you would do it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think it boils down to the first statement, the skill set.
Skill set, which people don't like. Oh my God, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to have an objection thrown at me, and I'm going to be nervous and scared. I get it. If there's another reason, I'd like to hear it. But it's probably those are the 2 of the top 3. Anybody else have a reason? Okay. So that being said, Marty, you're doing something that you hate. You're scared shitless. Nothing positive. Really. The only thing positive is maybe this the light at the end of the tunnel, or the pot of gold, right? The thinking, the wishful thinking that you're going to get a listing and you're going to make some money, right? So how many days would you pounding the phones? When I say pounding the phones, I mean putting a headset on and putting a dialer and letting the phone call 3 people at a time. I'm not talking about hand dialing one person, looking up, doing some information on the MLS and doing that crap. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you put your headset on and you let the dialer rip, okay? Let it rip, which means you're probably going to contact, on average, 12 to 15 people an hour. A contact is an adult speaking person, okay? So you're making a lot of phone calls. Let me tell you something. I don't know if anybody has done manual labor, hard manual labor, like digging a ditch or roofing or something really, really hard. This is harder. When you're done prospecting, I think you should prospect. At the end of 3 hours, you're ready for a shower. You're ready for a nap. I'm telling you, it's high strung. It's hard work. And it's never going to get easy. It's going to get easier, but it's never going to be ezy. Okay? I'm saying right now, I made thousands and thousands of these phone calls for years. It's never easy. That's the reason why nobody on this call right now is doing it on a regular basis. So my question is, how many days in a row are you going to do this, knowing all this negativity? How many days in a row will you do this and not get anything for it? Before you say, screw it, I'm going to mail letters. Screw it, I'm going to do Zillow. I'm going to do something different. How many days or weeks or months or whatever, how long are you going to do this before you say, I'm going to plan B? I want to hear 3 people give an answer.
A moment ago, you said in a market you'd never seen more than 10. You said 10 or 15. Were you talking 10 or 15% or 10 or 15 people?
10 or 15 people, Rick. 10 or 15 total.
That's what I thought you. Okay.
Yep, and I'll tell you how I find that out. Okay, and I'll come back to that. But right now, guys, either 7 days, Marty.
Yeah, just from historically speaking, I it seems like I start off strong. Actually, I start off strong, and then after the first 5 days, I don't know, 7, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, and it starts, nothing turns out of it. Then I start kind of tailing off.
Yeah, and this is different than like mailing a postcard, because mailing a postcard, you're just writing checks. You're not nervous. You're not scared.
Yeah.
You're not having all this stuff. So 7 days. I want 2 more answers. Who else has got an answer? Honest answer, guys. How many days are you going to do this with a big goose egg getting shit on every day?
I don't really have an answer, but if you do that for a period of days, if you're not that can make you hate this business. Hate this job. I mean, like you said, if you get shit on day, I mean, the KW offices is one here down the street. They take every new agent, and that's all they do. They call. That's one of them. They drive a lot of them out of business.
Yep. So let me ask you something. How many days, right? How many days would you, first of all, would you do it if you got 2 or 3 listing appointments a week?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, how many days you're going to do it, and give me your honest answer that you would quit? I got 7. I want 2 more answers. I want to get an average here. There's no wrong answer.
You're going to do it.
days.
That's the question.
15 days. Okay. Yeah. How many days, Rick, will you do this before you say, screw it, I'm doing something else?
Hypothetically, I don't know, 15 days.
15 days. So you're going to do this for 3 weeks. You're going to stomach this for 3 weeks, 3 hours a day.
Sure.
Okay, good. All right. So the most I've ever heard is a week, right? And I've probably trained, I'm not kidding you, where people have paid me $1,000, right? And there's people in our group that are using ShopBoss that are in our group that I've trained, trust me. And so I'm not soliciting that, but I'm telling you that I've trained a lot, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and I've never heard over 5 days. Okay. That being said, 15's even short, right? I mean, Tiger Woods, anybody that's got anything at perfection, can you imagine if they gave up after 2 or 3 weeks, right? But that's really important to hear, though, because your competition, the reason is there's only a few people doing it, is for the reason you just said. They're not going to get the great results, so therefore they're going to do something different. You follow me?
Yes.
Totally, right? So those people in your office, Marty, I guarantee that if I could work with them just 2 hours, I could triple their business. I guarantee that. And I would actually put my fee as a contingency to that. because you just with the answers you gave me, I'm telling you right now, right? So guys, you guys all have that script that I gave you?
Yes.
All right. So here's what I want to do. If you guys would do it, I would continue to go through some of this, and some of this. I don't skip steps. So when I train someone to make these expire calls, I don't care if you have experience, you don't have experience making calls. I don't care if you have a real estate experience. It doesn't matter. I go through the same process with everybody. Okay. I've trained agents. I can tell you, mega agents that do $100 million a year, right? And I train them the same way as somebody just joined real estate yesterday, okay? Because it is a learned process and the process is the same, okay? What happens is now when you make the phone calls, guys, when you make the phone calls, think about this for a second. If there is a lot of agents, let's say my number's wrong. Let's say there are a lot of agents in your market making these phone calls. We know that if we're good getting the appointment, that means they're not. Does that make sense, Marty?
Yes.
So if I'm in your market and let's say there's 10 expireds, 5 will probably relist. And if I get 3 of them, that means there's only 2 more opportunities spread for 10 people. That means you probably don't have an opportunity, right? I was in a little market of 20,000 people and I would get routinely, I mean for years, 18 to 23 appointments, depending on the season. 18 to 23 listings a month. I don't know how many appointments. So probably 22 to 28 appointments a month in a market of 20,000 people. Not agents, 20,000 population. Okay. So the easiest way to get good at this and get more listings is to put them out of business, because if you're the only one making the phone calls, you're going to get all the appointments, aren't you?
Yes. True.
Right. So if you get really good, that means, Marty, I'm getting the appointments, you're not. And I know you're going to quit after 5 days. Go ahead and try it. That's all you got to do. Go sign up for RedX today. I'm an affiliate with RedX, and I'm an affiliate with Vulcan. I have conversations with these guys all the time. And I know they lose a lot of people. They look for the magic pill, right? Getting RedX, getting Vulcan. And then what happens is, guys, after they get it, what happens? They don't use it.
Use it for a week and they just let it expire because they don't use it anymore.
Exactly. It's a great tool. All I hear is all the numbers suck, this blah blah. I'm telling you, don't, right? So let's get into some of this, right? So with the phone call, you got to have a script. Got to have a script. So here's what I would say you do with this script, okay? Marty, here's a few ways. Number one thing we want to do is internalize the script. Guys, what's the best way, or what are some ways to internalize the script?
Practicing and finding a mirror.
Okay, but practicing it, how are you going to practice?
Well, I need to find a real good script partner, I presume.
Okay, so script partner is one. Okay, that's one way to learn. What else? Let's go back to when you were 3 and 4 years old, guys. Okay, because this is not MIT rocket science stuff, right? This is simple stuff. When we were 3, 4, 5 years old, we could sing a song like look at the ABC song, right? There's even we can all sing it, right? After 30, 40 years. A, B, C, D. We know the song, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, why do we know the song? Think about
Repetition.
Repetition, number one. Do it over and over and over and over and over again, right? So here's what I would do. I would take this script, guys. If only do this if you want to make a few $100,000 next year and work less hours. And I'm dead serious about this. And I'll challenge anybody. I'll train somebody, and I'll help you guys do this, right? And I guarantee your income will go up. I guarantee it. Okay? The best way, so if you know what you're going to say, all you got to do is, the reason I can role play with you guys and kind of get the appointment is because I know my script better than you know yours, because you don't have a script, right? If you're role playing with me as a seller, you don't have a script, do you?
Is that script on Shout Boss? I wasn't here last Friday.
Yes, it was. Yep, it was. And all it is the Mike Ferry script, guys.
Okay.
Credit for it. It's a Mike Ferry script that you use. It's phenomenal. Okay. So if I know the script and you don't have a script, I'm going to win. Or you're going to hang up the phone. Either way, I'm going to win. Okay. So to learn the script, number one is to read it over and over again. Just like singing a song. we sing it over and over and over again, number one. Number two, listen to it. So what you do, and this is painful, I'm going to tell you right now, but get your iPhone out and read this script into your phone, okay? Don't read it with any tonality. Don't read it like you're trying to get the appointment. Just read it like this. Just to give you an example. So I'm sure you figured out that your home came up on my computer as an expired listing. I was calling to see when you want to sell your home. Oh, you're thinking about selling it next year. Great. When do you plan on interviewing? So there's no emotion in it. It's kind of monotone, because what you're going to do with this script, and pretend you're having a conversation with somebody. So give an answer, okay? Oh, you're going to move next year. Excellent, right? Then what you're going to do, the painful part, is when you're in your car, guys, today, ask my kids, ask my family, I don't care. I hardly listen to the radio in my car, or hardly listen to radio. You know why? For years, every time I got into my car, I put a headset on and I listened to myself with this recording. It's painful and it sucks, but you can make a lot of money, okay? You can make a lot of money. In that little cow town I told you of 20,000 people, I sold 73 homes doing this, okay? So listen to that recording of you reading the script, the same script over and over again, right? The same one that you role play with. The other way you do is handwrite the script out. Handwrite it, don't type it. Handwrite it out every single day. And if you want accountability, send it to me. Only if you want to sell a bunch of homes, do this. But I guarantee that if you get a role play partner, you listen to this recording, right? When you run, when you mow the lawn, when you shovel the snow, when you're in your car, right? When you go to bed, put an earbud in. If you can get away with it with your partner, put an earbud in and go to sleep with it. I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to get into your brain. So now you can if this is a boxing match, I'm going to be able to go more rounds than you, because I have a script you don't. I know what to do, okay? So does anybody have any questions on what to do there? That's how you internalize it. Because if you internalize the script, I'm not saying that you're ever going to get I always have the script. You're always going to keep the script because you want a good safety net. So you don't, in case you get off script, you want to have the script so you can get back on the script. Make sense?
Yes.
All pros have a script, guys. All pros have a script. Whether it's the president on a speech, whether it's an actor, they all have a script, guys. It might be on a teleprompter, and they might have it internalized, but it's there as a backup, okay? That's what pros do. Amateurs wing it, okay? Everyone said, oh, I'm not going to use a script, I'm not going to use a script. But even if you don't use a script, you are using a script. It's just in your head. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'd rather be prepared, right? So now, does anyone have any suggestions on top of what I just mentioned to internalize a script? Guys, this is not fun. This is not sexy. This is boring, but it's the most productive, paying thing you can do in the real estate business, okay?
Do you personalize that at all?
I'm going to tell you how you personalize it. If you mean personalized by changing the words, no. Not, I use the script verbatim.
I mean, as a response to it.
Yeah.
Says, hey, whatever. I live over here near your office. I mean, whatever. I mean, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't do that. So what I'm going to do is, the way you can personalize it, though, you can personalize it, but you don't want to get off script. And the way you personalize it is by, and this is my next thing I'm going to jump into, is you're going to have some affirming words or confirming words. I'll give you an example. So just role play with me one sentence. If you sold this home, where would you go next?
I'd move to North Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma. Wow. So that wow, that word that I can use to affirm, that will be my personalization. So if I like the word wow, incredible, awesome. If I'm from the north, from Boston, I'll use wicked. Wow, that's wicked cool. You know, if I sense I'm talking to somebody young, I'm going to use maybe a younger word, right? Right? Like cool, awesome, right? I wouldn't say wicked to somebody I knew that was elderly, right? Or if I knew they were from the deep south. So yes, you can personalize it with the affirming or confirming words, okay? Now let's get a piece of paper and let's write them down. Let's write them down. This is going to be a little cheat sheet. And by the way, I have my cheat sheet, guys, right? So because when you're role playing, when you're role playing, yes, but when you're doing this in real life, you want to be able to use affirming words right? And there's a purpose we want to use these affirming words. Let me just verify what I mean by that, okay? So for instance, the second question, if you guys have your script, says, if you sold this home, where would you go next? And you said Oklahoma, right? So let me give you an example of me using the affirming word and not using the affirming word, okay? One's going to sound very natural, Rick, and one's going to sound like I'm on a script. Ready?
Okay.
I'm going to do the one that's going to sound like, and it's going to be identical, but I'm going to do the one and it's going to sound like it's on a script first. You ready? If you sold this home, where would you go next?
Houston.
How soon do you have to be there?
No hurry. Next 4 to 6 months.
Rick, what do you think stopped you from selling?
I had a lousy agent.
Okay, so guys, that was horrible. And that was horrible because it sounded like I was reading a script, didn't it?
Yes.
Yep. No personalization, nothing. So let me tell you how I'm going to personalize it and make it sound kind of natural. You'll never know I'm on a script. I've never had anyone say you're on a script. But if I was doing that, people would know I'm on a script. So going back to your 7 days, Marty, if you heard every day, what are you on a script? What are you on a script? What are you on a script? You'd stop, wouldn't you, Marty?
Yeah.
Right. So here's how you stop it. You ready? I'm going to do it again with you, Rick. If you sold this home, where would you go next?
Houston.
Houston. Wow, that's exciting. And how soon do you have to be there?
No big hurry. Next 4 to 6 months.
Next 4 to 6 months. Perfect. Rick, what do you think stopped you from selling?
I think I had a lousy real estate agent.
A lousy real estate agent. Ouch. Now that was more natural, wasn't it? We were having a conversation.
Right.
Right? So what I did was I used an affirming word, which we're going to write down now, right? I repeat what you said. What you're always going to do, guys, what you want to do is to repeat and affirm, okay? It's got to be in that order. Repeat and affirm. So I repeated, Rick, a little bit of what you said. If you sold this home, where would you go?
Houston.
Houston. Great. You notice I repeat what you said, and then I affirmed it. So you always want to repeat, affirm, repeat, affirm. Now, if you gave me a long sentence, I probably wouldn't repeat verbatim the long sentence. I would shorten it up.
Sure.
That sentence, okay?
Sure.
And then I would affirm it. Close the door, affirm it. That's showing me, that's showing you, I listened to you, I affirmed it, I asked the next question.
Well, equally as big, in my opinion, is you had a total different, you had inflection in your voice. You had emotion and inflection in your voice as opposed to the straight monotone script.
Oh, totally. We'll get into that. That's another way to personalize it, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly, not only personalize it, that's how you build rapport. People
Right.
think we to get in rapport, we talk about fishing or religion or politics or what do we have in common. That's not how you get in rapport, okay? You get in rapport by mirror matching their rate of speech, their tonality, okay? And using tonality, and that's how we're going to get into rapport, okay? Because if you're from the deep South, and I talk fast, like you know, right? And if I don't adapt, I'm going to irritate you after a certain point, correct?
Absolutely.
Totally. I know that. I'm talking a little faster than I normally would just to give you your money's worth here. So I'm not, trying to jam a bunch of stuff into you at once. But if this was a sales call, guys, I would slow down and mirror and match you as close as possible.
There you go. Because out here, you call out here where I'm at, you get hung up with some expletives like you're Yankee. Whatever. But I mean, yeah.
Totally. I get that.
But the way you just changed it, slowed it down, all the difference in the world, because you sound like a guy down the street that lives here in the Southwest. You don't sound like a guy from the East Coast.
You got it. So you notice now that if I was really good on the script and I knew what I was doing, but I was talking fast, I probably wouldn't get the appointment.
Yeah, because to many people out here, you sound like some salesman.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just going to say, somebody from the South, what do they think of somebody who talks fast? And they think they're a slippery salesperson, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Now, somebody from the North is listening to somebody from the Deep South who talks really, really slow. What do they think?
He's less intelligent. Some dumb Southerner.
Bingo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bingo. So don't be that person. And that's so this probably, I say it's a simple thing, this whole prospecting thing, right, guys? But when we're done, it's a combination of all this stuff. Okay, trust me, it is. All right. So the easiest way to stay on script, because if you stay on script, guys, guess what's gonna? I'm sorry. If you can go through this script, because if Marty, if somebody hangs up the phone, you have zero opportunity, don't you?
True.
So if I can keep somebody on the phone and read these questions, I have a pretty good chance of getting an appointment, don't I?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we can increase the odds just by keeping them on the keeping them on the phone. Okay. So number one thing is don't hang up. You don't be the person to hang up. Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never hang up the phone. Okay. Now, guys, if you're talking, Marty, have you ever probably only maybe you talk to a loved one? Have you ever been talking on the phone and hung up at the same time?
Probably, yes.
When you're probably irritated at a loved one. Other than that, you probably haven't, right?
Yeah.
How can you talk and hang up at the same time? You just don't do it, do you?
Mhm.
Right? Unless somebody really close to you irritates you. It has to be somebody really close to you, like a loved one. When you, or somebody that, brother, sister, mother, father, spouse, somebody like that got you so irritated. Those are the ones that can irritate you the most, right? Or frustrate you the most. Where you were talking, you were so frustrated, you probably hung up. But typically speaking, guys, if you're talking on the phone, you're not going to hang up. So therefore, if you ask questions, Marty, what do you naturally have to do?
Respond.
Respond. So,
Responses.
so ask questions, get them to respond. They can't hang up the phone, right? So one way to make them keep them engaged is to use these affirming words. And we don't want to use the same one every time. So we want to have a list. So we're not using okay, 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 okay every single time, okay? See? So let's write them down. And we don't have to use all of them. We just want to use some of them, okay? So words like unreal, are you kidding? And some of these words, guys, we're going to use to really emphasize sometimes what we want to say, okay? You can imagine by you getting a response and you say, are you kidding? You can see how you can emphasize certain things, okay? Another one is good, really. Good, really. Say them out loud, guys.
Really?
Really? No, think of any new ones you can come up with.
Oh.
There's no wrong answer here. Interesting.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
Nice. And you can say nice a bunch of different ways. Just like you said, nice. Right? I see. There's another one. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Sorry. Sorry. Here's one I use often, guys. Bummer. I probably wouldn't use bummer if I knew there was an elderly person, but bummer sometimes, like you, when I was role playing with you, you said about the agent. I might say, oh, the agent, bummer. That would be, or ouch, right?
Yeah.
If I used ouch, it's almost like sticking a knife in the other agent's back, isn't it? Right? And I'm agreeing with you, right? I'm on your side now. If we're at a table, I'm sitting side by side instead of across the table. If I said ouch, right? Now I'm like putting my arm around you. We're a team now. The other agent's the enemy. By using that one word.
At the same time, you didn't criticize openly. You just expressed agreement.
Yeah.
Or
And a big one. And a big one.
Understanding/agreement, yes.
And a big one. That's too bad, very good. That's too bad, very good. Another one you might want to use to get excited, right? To get excited, guys, is bingo. Bingo. Right? If they tell you something that you really agree with, that's going to help them sell their home. Like, if we want an aggressive, when you say, what are you looking to choose? I want an aggressive agent who has a great marketing plan. A great marketing plan, bingo, exactly, right? You get excited, right? Amazing, great, awesome. Amazing, great, awesome, perfect. Wow, wow. That's exciting, wonderful, terrific, cool. All right, so here's a little list, guys. You're not going to use them all, right? You're not going to use them all, and you'll use some of them, and you might use ouch once or twice a week, or bingo once a week. But you have them. It's just a good little arsenal. And then what you don't want to do is you don't want to use the same one back to back, right? You don't want to say that's exciting every single time, John. Because then they're going to know you're on a script. It's not real. We don't do that in real life, do we?
Not normally.
Exactly. So here's some guys on that same piece of paper. On that same piece of paper, we got a couple more minutes. I want to go over this part, right? Because what we're going to do is when we get off the call, guys, we're going to go. I'll end the call. I'll tell you what our homework's going to be. But on that same piece of paper, just write. Pay attention. Pay attention. What I mean by that is because when we first start making these calls, guys, what we're going to find is that we're not completely. We don't have this completely internalized. We're not going to get perfection and then go out and do this, okay? We're going to do this and learn at the same time, all right? So in the beginning, you're going to be paying attention a lot of what you're going to say, not necessarily what they're saying, okay? So if you hear things that we're going to talk about, you want to pay attention. So for instance, what are some things that you could hear, right, from the seller where you have to pay attention and not put your foot in your mouth? I'll give you an example. Divorce. You wouldn't want to say, "Are you getting a divorce?" Great. You see? So if you hear divorce, that should be under pay attention. Pay attention. Don't use words like awesome or great with divorce, right? It's a 50-50 because you don't know who's happy. All right. So what other situations, guys, where you'd have to pay attention?
Death in the family.
A death. Yep. Death. So we have death. We have divorce. What else?
Facing foreclosure.
Foreclosure, right? Foreclosure. Anything foreclosure, money. Foreclosure and money. Job transfer could be another one. Job transfer, money, right? Job transfer can be good or bad, right? So don't get too wound up with that. So I've never been to Detroit, okay, guys? And if anybody here's from Detroit, I apologize because I'm saying this with zero knowledge. But I think of, let's say, Detroit of not that nice compared to Maui. Okay, Maui, which I've been to, Maui seems nicer than Detroit. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm talking to somebody and they're moving from Detroit to Maui, and I get excited about that because it does seem like an exciting move to go from Detroit to Maui. Okay. What happens though? This one's got to be careful, John, because what if they were going to Maui to take care of their dad with stage 4 cancer?
Yes. Yeah, I got it. I see that.
And what if their home is Detroit?
You see what I'm saying?
You
So
may be very emotional about that.
don't get excited about them going to Maui because it might not be for good reasons. See?
Good point.
Yep. So job transfer. Because I tell you one thing: if you're excited about them going to Hawaii and their dad's going to die and got stage 4 cancer, or the house just burned down, or something horrific like that, you're probably not going to get the appointment.
Probably not.
Probably not. And you'll never know why. You'll be like, "Oh, 5 of us only getting 5 appointments a week. What's going on?" You know, and they don't even know. They don't know what they don't know. Okay. What's another one, guys? Money, health, divorce, foreclosure, neighborhood, right? Neighborhood's kind of like the Maui, Detroit thing I just said. Don't always think, there might be in a neighborhood where you gotta be careful with that, right? It might be next to a sex offender or something. We don't know, okay? So be careful with those words. Pay attention, okay? So here's the thing, guys. For the homework, here's what you're gonna do. Get some role play partners. And guys, right now, I don't know if you can see the list of people on this call. Here's your role play partners. Or go on the Shout Plus group and just get some role play partners. And the role play partners, guys, is super easy. It'll take about 18 to 20 minutes for you guys to. It'll take about 18 to 20 minutes for you guys to do a role play, right? You're gonna be the bot. You're gonna be the seller, and then you're gonna be the agent, and then you'll reverse the role. Okay. Don't make it difficult. Give them the appointment. In other words, don't give them a condition, right? Give them an objection or two just so they can get through the script. But let them get through the script, okay? Hand write the script out. Hand write it out. And the words that are in bold, put them in bold.
Okay.
Yep. chant it out loud. And if you chant it and say it, because the faster you can say the script, the better you know it. The better you know it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when I say chant it and do it fast, it should not make any sense. If you sold it somewhere, you go next. How soon you have to be there? What do you think stops everything from selling? Like that's stupid fast, right? Because if you can do it that fast through the whole script, guys, you probably know the script, right? And you're gonna get better and better and better and better and better. Okay. What's gonna happen, guys, is like there's certain people and that have mastered things, right? Like sports or whatever it might be. You know, when Tom Brady can picture, I'm sure, right? Who's that hockey player that can picture where the puck's going, right? They know what's going on a step or two ahead. When you're doing the script, guys, you're gonna do it. You're gonna know what their answer is gonna be. So can you imagine doing this live with somebody, right? You already know their answers. Do you think you can get the appointment a little easier if you already knew what their answers are gonna be?
Right.
I guarantee, guys, by doing this, you'll be just like that. I guarantee it. It'll be just like a role play. Because how many different objections, guys, can they come up with?
7 or 8.
I was gonna say 5 or 6.
After a while, they're going to be pretty much the standards. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, how many can there possibly be?
Yep. How many? Let's just go through this. This will be the end, guys. How many? Let's just come up with the objections.
Not moving. The real estate agent didn't do their job.
Okay. What else?
Change your mind.
It was a bad time of year.
Bad time of year. Okay. Who believes any of these? If you heard, we're not selling, we change our mind, or we're not selling anymore. Who would get that on a call, guys, and believe it and go on to the next call? Hey, John, you know what? I decided I'm just not going to sell.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest, I've had those, and I'm the guilty party of not knowing what to say, and
But
okay.
did you believe them, Marty?
No.
You didn't. Okay. Who here would hear that on a phone and believe and believe it?
You have to look beyond the layers beyond what they're saying. They wanted to sell, obviously, they wouldn't listen the first time. They're frustrated of people coming, if they still live there, parading down their home and showings and getting no offers, getting a sale. That's why they don't want to sell.
Yep. How
Is
about
that a question of curiosity? I'm curious, Jim. What changed your mind? Can you do that, or that's not good, or what?
You can, but where is that on the script? My rule is stick to the script.
If it ain't on the script, it doesn't exist.
Here's the thing. Would you rather handle the objection or would you rather get the appointment?
Get the appointment.
You can only get one typically. Because what you can do is you can win the war, right? Or you can win the battle, but probably lose the war, right? So the best thing to do is just don't even handle that objection. And the best way to handle the objection is being control of the call and ask another question. Make sense?
Yeah.
And what would that be?
What would what be?
We're not going to move.
Are you not going to move? Okay. You want to role play that with me real quick? I'll do 1 or 2 sentences with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If you sold this home, where would you go next?
Well, we're not going to move, Jim.
You're not going to move. Excellent. Well, I mean, how soon, did you have to be at that new place you were going?
Well, we were looking at a job transfer, and the job didn't pan out.
Okay. And that's what you think stopped you home from selling?
Well, I guess not. I mean, my job transfer didn't have anything to do with my home selling, did it?
Okay. And how did you happen to pick, that last agent you listed with?
He was my brother-in-law's buddy at work.
Gotcha.
He worked with.
Okay, so now we went 2 or 3 sentences past the objection. Where's the objection? It's gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. So I didn't answer it. I didn't avoid it, but I didn't answer it. Right?
Okay.
Yep. So the thing to do is repeat what they said and affirm. That's why that repeating and affirm is important. And you want to repeat and affirm very fast. Okay, don't delay. Because if I ask you a question, John, if you ask me a question and there's a 2 or 3 second delay, what have I just demonstrated to you?
You may be lying.
No, but if you ask me a question and there's a delay of 3 or 4 seconds or a couple seconds,
You're thinking about it.
I don't know the answer. I'm thinking about it. right? So don't do that. So the best way to remove that is to answer them fast. Don't speak fast, but answer them fast, right? And use your affirming word. Ask the next question. Because now if I ask you the next question, what do you have to do?
You have to answer it.
Answer it. And we're on to the next question. And we're on to the next question, aren't we?
Yeah.
Going back to I changed my mind, I'm not going to sell it, bad time of year, any of that stuff, okay, guys? Some of that stuff, when I first started doing this, I believed it, okay? I believed it. And I'm sure, guys, somebody here on this call probably believes it as well. But I think if you, does anybody believe that someone really changed their mind, or it's a bad time of year, or any of that stuff? Or we're going to just keep the house, we're going to put an addition on it. Who thinks that any of these are valid?
Not really.
Anybody think they're valid?
No, not really. No.
No. And
Probably prior to last week, I probably would have.
yeah, yep. And I think what you'll find is that, my coach told me, and I believe some of these, right? And my coach said, you know what? You don't put a dress on if you're not getting married. What are you talking about? Right? And she said, listen, what do you think is still out in their front yard, Marty? The house
Still out there?
expired.
Yeah, the house is still out there.
Okay, but the house expired last night. What's still
Yeah,
in
the
the
sign's still out there.
For sale sign.
So what's that sign doing in the yard, right? That's the dress. What's the sign doing in the yard? The house is not for sale.
They didn't bother to go remove it. The owner,
Right, but it was for sale yesterday, wasn't it?
right?
Yeah, that's the dress, right? What's on the door? Lockbox. So if you didn't have a lock, if you want to sell your house, why do you have a lockbox? Why could I have shown it yesterday? You could have shown that house yesterday. So they have to give you an answer. See, that's the thing, guys. Understand, when you ask a question, typically speaking, someone has to give you an answer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, just like you just did there. So when you ask them a question, right, they have to give you an answer. And no one wants to be sold. No one says, hey, I do want to sell my home still. Can you come over? I do want to sell my home. You know what I mean? No, they don't want to do that. They're defeated, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So don't believe it. Okay, good. So we have a little bit of homework here. And guys, post on the Facebook if you're doing it, if you're looking for a role play partner, or if you have any questions with this, because I can definitely help you with it between now and our next time we speak.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Hey, it was a good call. I really appreciate it.
Is this recorded for later, Jim?
I think it is. I will get it, and I will have them put it on the Facebook group. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thanks.